Hey y'all, it's Eric again. So I wanted to focus a little more on how to set up remote app connections on an iPhone or an iPad, but I wanted to come at it from more of a marketing perspective because there are some things that are specific to the marketing department that apply only to them. So I'm going to go ahead and bypass how to install the remote desktop client. I think that's been pretty well covered, but if you have any questions, you can always let me know. So what we're going to do to get started here is open up our RD client like normal. And to add a new connection, we'll hit the plus button up here. We'll go to Remote Resources. If you watched the previous video, you're going to want to put in your email address right here. This is a dummy account, but for all intents and purposes, this is part of the marketing department. Then we'll go ahead and find our feed. We're going to add our user account. And same thing, because this Office user is part of the marketing department, it's going to have access to resources such as HeavyBid that other departments would not have. So we'll go ahead and save that. We'll find our feed. We've located it right here, and we'll go ahead and hit subscribe. So now, as you can see, we have access to not only the normal stuff like Shopkeeper, BrewPoint, Viewpoint, but we can also get into HeavyBid. So let's go ahead and open that up and see how that does on a phone. On my test, it was relatively speedy, but we'll see how this one does. Now it's a little difficult to see here, but you can see your user number and your username. Because this is going on the internet, I'm not going to actually open up any bids, but you get the gist of it here. So if you did want to close out of that, you could just hit the cancel button like you normally would. This hamburger setting menu here, you can either end the session if you choose to. You can also start a new one if you wanted to jump over and get into BrewPoint and look at some job sheets. You could very easily do that from here as well. And we could go ahead and log in. This user does not have any permission, but you get the idea. So we can close out of that. Now the other thing I wanted to show you, so we have the remote apps that are going to let you get into one specific program, but let's say, for example, you needed to access something on the network drive. So I'll show you how to do that through your iPhone or iPad without the use of the VPN either. We'll go ahead and rotate that back here. So if we go here, we're actually going to want to go to the gear menu on the top left hand up here. So under user accounts, we just want to confirm we already have our user account added. We'll need that. For gateway, we do need to add a gateway. The gateway is basically going to broker the connection, so we don't need to use the VPN. That's going to prove that you are a member of the organization and you have the rights to access these materials. So the gateway name is going to be spc-remote.superiorpaving.net. Go ahead and hit done and go ahead and save that. And we can click done here. After that, we want to go back into the plus menu to add more, but we want to go to desktop this time. So for PC name, you can actually just type in marketing.superiorpaving.net. For the user account, unless you want to type it every time, go ahead and choose your username. Under additional options, you can give it a friendly name if you want. I'm going to call this marketing. It's not required, but it just kind of helps you tell the difference between if you have multiple connections. And then for gateway, we're going to want to add SBC-remote like we did earlier. And the rest of that stuff's totally fine. So you can go ahead and click on desktop up here. And we'll go ahead and hit save. So now when we switch over to desktops right here, we'll see here's our marketing connection. We can go ahead and click on that. And so when this connects, this is going to give us a full remote desktop environment. So if you needed to access something in the jobs folder, for example, you'll be able to through here. Again, not the most fun on a phone, but if you're in a pinch, it is very helpful stuff here. It's a little hard to see, but you also have access to all the remote app programs you had earlier. If you need to get into any of the shared folders, they're going to be under the File Explorer down here. And again, just because this is going on the internet, I'm not going to open those up, but you get the idea of how that works. So is there anything I missed? If you have any questions, run into any issues, let me know. If not, have a good one.